Hi, everybody. Okay, so another unannounced live, but this time I have a plan for us. So I was thinking, per your requests, I'm gonna channel the planets. So I first want to start off with saying thank you to you guys listening. This has been a wonderful experience for me, and I really want to thank Lada for being a wonderful partner and an amazing spiritual leader. And I want to thank her for giving me this platform to do this, because this is her platform, and I consider it a huge, huge privilege to be able to do this for you guys through her channel. So thank you so much, Lada. I appreciate you so much. I wish you all the best. And so I also want to say, if anybody knows how to timestamp, that would be awesome, because this time we do have a set schedule. So if you can like timestamp the different planets, that would be amazing. It would just help a lot of people watching it later. And my intention with this is that it will be uplifting, informative, enlightening for everybody who is watching, to the extent that they're able to receive it. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you for all the support. As you see, I have grown in this process. So I am a little more quick paced, a little more entertaining. You know, in the beginning, I was very Taurus, very sort of stuck in my ways and slow. Now I'm getting a bit of a hang of it. So I'm getting more and more comfortable with it. Thank you so much for you guys sharing this experience with us. Okay, so let's start off with the sun. And I also want to excuse me if I don't say hi to you guys personally. Some of you, I know you guys. I see some of the comments afterwards. So to everybody who already knows me and clients or personal friends, thank you. I see you, but I don't necessarily always see you in time. Okay, so the sun. My questions for the planets are going to be, what do you do for us? What is your effect on our lives? And how do we remedy your difficult effects? So what do you want us to do when we're having difficulties associated with you? That's my questions for the planets. Thank you, bomb.com. Okay. So as you know, I am interested in remedies, so I'm gonna see what they have to say about it. I've channeled it before. I have a webinar about it if you're curious about the remedies, but so this is gonna be similar. Okay, so let's start off with the sun. Okay, so what do you do for us? Shine, make you shine in your individuality. So I make you shine in your individuality. So whatever you are, I make that shine. What else do you do for us? What other effects do you have? Confidence. So I make you appreciate what you are. What else do you do for us? To stand by what you know is true for you. I give you an identity to know what is you, what is someone else, and to stand by what is you. Okay. What about creativity and stuff like that? Yes, I stand for self-expression, expressing who you are in different ways, creating from that which is you. Are you a representation of our inner God, or a God in expression through us? In a way, the sun is saying in a way. I thought that's what it was. Okay, in a way. In what way? So you can create that which is you. You can make things come to be from that which is you. So you can create expressions of you in different forms. Okay, do you represent our creative powers? Yes. Expressing that which is you in tangible ways. Okay, is that clear for everyone? Or yeah, let me know if there's anything more that I need to ask the planets. Let's see. I just want to make sure I get all the comments. Okay. So how do we remedy issues related to the sun? Okay, so sun is saying confidence is one of the major stumbling blocks, kind of, when it comes to sun things. Confidence. Okay, so what do you do? So if there is a weakness in the sun energy, so that could manifest as low self-confidence. What about vitality? Yes, yes. Vitality is another one. So vitality, sun explained that lack of vitality is a lack of expressing that which is you. Lack of owning that which you are. Is that the same for confidence? Yes, but confidence can be sort of affected by other forces. So how do we remedy issues related to you? You need to shine and do the things that make you happy. Okay, so how does the sun sign come into this? So the sun is explaining how the sun sign is very general, and that you can have the same sun sign as somebody else, but your expression might be different and your specific needs might be different. And the sun is saying you have to find that which is your center. Is that the best way to put it? So sun is explaining how when you are strong in that which is you. So from what I'm seeing, it seems like the key is to honor that which is you, and respect that which is you individually. Your personal point of view, your personal opinions, your personal expression, your personal preferences. These are the things that strengthen sun-related things. So it helps with confidence and vitality and other sun-related things when you stand by that which is you instead of trying to be something else, or when you value other people's perspective over your own. Interesting. Tropic or Vedic? I'm assuming it's tropic because that's what I usually work with. I'm not very familiar with Vedic. I know some basic things, but not too much. So tropic, yeah, tropical. Let's see, moon. Okay, I've spoken to the moon before. So, hey moon, what do you want to say? So what do you do for people? I give them satisfying relationships. So the moon is satisfying relationships, comfortable, content relationships. Okay. What else do you do? I make you understand other people's needs. Okay, so how do we remedy moon-related thing? So the moon is explaining that your family and upbringing can affect the state of your moon-related issues. So the moon is showing me how it all comes down to the upbringing and the family we grew up in. Okay, so does that affect how content we are in life? Okay, it affects how we are able to relate to others in relationships. Okay, so what are the general remedies for moon-related things? To learn, if you haven't learned it from your home or your family and upbringing, to learn what it takes to be content emotionally, So some people have to learn it because they didn't have it growing up. Okay, so how do we learn it? Can you give me some more on that? To observe and focus on the emotional needs. So you learn by focusing and observing your own emotional needs and other people's emotional needs, and learning to get comfortable with meeting those needs. So people, I'm also being shown how people have had difficult upbringings or difficult family situations. They struggle with understanding the value and knowing how to meet other people's needs as well. So what is the remedy for that? They have to learn by observing. So they have to learn it on their own. They have to learn it by observing. So what are some general guidance on relationships? The moon is saying you absolutely need other people. You absolutely need other people. So what do you do for us? So how can you help us in this process? Moon is saying, talk to me. You can talk to me. And what happens when we talk to you? I show you in your circumstances and the things that happen in your life after. I show you the keys or the answers. I can give you insights. I can give you the feelings that you need to feel. So the moon can communicate, even if you're not meditating or listening to your inner guidance, the moon can show you through circumstances that will happen in your life after you've spoken to the moon. Let's see. I know it's going to be quite general, I would say. So I'm not getting too in depth in it because generally when I channel, I only get a response to the specific questions. So in order to get more in depth, I have to put more questions to them. Sometimes I get like a huge answer, and sometimes I only get like the specific answer for the specific question. Just so you're aware. Oh, I'm glad this is affecting you, Liv. That means that this is especially important for you. That's wonderful. Okay, so now it's Mercury. So anybody who's time stamping, Mercury time. Okay, so Mercury, what do you do? I help you think. I help you organize. I help you be rational. So what else do you do for us? To conceptualize things, to understand it on a non-emotional level. So you're retrograde now. How does that affect, how do you feel about being retrograde? So Mercury likes it when they're retrograde to us, because their power is stronger over us, and it helps us clean up the messes we've made in terms of organizing and planning and thinking. So Mercury likes it when they're retrograde. Because Mercury is saying sometimes you make mistakes and you don't realize it. So when I'm retrograde to you, you see that. So I can get through to you. Sometimes Mercury can't get through to us. So in the retrograde, Mercury can get through to us because their power is stronger. Okay. Okay, so how do we deal with, so how can we remedy some of the issues that we can have related to you? How can we remedy? Mercury is saying sometimes it's not a matter of remedying. So some people have different ways of thinking or different ways of communicating. So some of those things aren't an indication that something needs to be remedied. Okay, so what are the things that do need to be remedied? When you don't have a rational basis for things, that's what Mercury needs us to remedy. So Mercury doesn't see it as a problem if your rationale is different, as long as you have a rationale. Okay, so what about like learning difficulties and stuff like that? Is that you? So Mercury is saying sometimes in some individuals, the learning difficulties are because more importance need to be put on other factors rather than the rational mind. So for these people, it doesn't need to be remedied because what they need is not more rational thinking, is that they need more emotional, perhaps, thinking or subjective thinking for their particular circumstances. That's what's needed. Okay, that's good to know. So I'm thinking like autism and things. Mercury doesn't see a problem there. Okay, to Mercury, that's not a problem. So what is the thing with that? Mercury is saying they're quite, they do think very well. Okay, what about rationality? So Mercury is saying it's just different. And I'm kind of getting the sense that Mercury doesn't want to explain it because I'm getting like a frustration, like, oh, you guys don't understand. I don't understand. So what is that? Mercury is saying they are rational. They are rational. You just don't understand them. That's all it is. Okay. How do we remedy that? Open your mind. Open your mind. Open your mind. Yeah, so Mercury saying open your mind. Cool, Mercury. All right, so I am checking for questions. Okay, I'm not doing personal questions again because, or I haven't done that in these channelings because for obvious reasons, I want to be of value to everybody. And if you do want a personal reading, we have an offer up. So for now, it's $99 instead of $150, which we're doing just to give you a chance to do this personally if you want to. So there is that option if you want my personal time and attention. Okay, so Venus. So time stampers out there, Venus time. Okay, Venus. So what do you do for us? What is your effect and power in our lives? Comfort. Happy thoughts. I thought that was Jupiter. Appreciation. Ooh, appreciation. So you appreciate things. Venus makes you appreciate things. What else? Abundance in a way. Material abundance. What else? Good stuff, sweets, pleasures. What else? Romantic feelings. What else? Beauty, beautiful things. So how can we strengthen your effect or remedy difficulties related to you? So Venus is kind of saying that so Venus suffers when we work too much. That makes Venus sad when we work too much. What makes you happy, Venus? love, relationships in all forms, like even like friends. And what else makes you happy? Eating good stuff, sweet things. What else? Valuable, good furniture. Ooh. What else makes you happy? Spending on yourself makes Venus happy when you spend money on yourself. What else? Enjoying yourself, enjoyments. So how do we remedy Venus difficulties? So Venus is saying when you have Venus difficulties, it's because you haven't valued yourself or given yourself enough of the good things in life. Okay, that really goes for me. So this is highly personal now. So Venus, what can we do if that's the case for us? What can we do? Take time to relax. Do pleasurable things. Relax, relax, relax. Relax. You don't have to push yourself. So what about relationship difficulties? What are your relationship advice? Don't we want to hear Venus's relationship advice? Let's see. Venus, what are your relationship advice? What is your value yourself? Value yourself. What else? Enjoy romance. Oh, I do enjoy romance, but when there is any. Okay, so how can we increase the romance in our lives? I'm asking for a friend. How can we increase the romance in our lives? Make yourself look beautiful. What else? Go on dates, be pampered. What about guys? Does that go for guys as well? Yeah, even guys can do this by taking care of their appearance, making themselves beautiful, enjoying their bodies, taking care of their bodies. What else can we do to increase the romance and pleasure and all the good stuff that you bring? Spend money on yourself, pamper yourself. Nice. So does that answer your questions? Does Venus rule compliments? Do you? Yes, indirectly, because Venus is showing me how they're more about enjoying yourself, like appreciating yourself more than. So yeah, complimenting when something is pleasurable to you or appealing to you, so complimenting then. So the focus with Venus is still me, myself. So it is a personal planet, so it does make sense. So what is your relationship advice? Enjoyment. Relationships must be enjoyable. Oh, how can we do that? So Venus say there's different things that are enjoyable to different people, but make sure there is enjoyment in the relationship, that it's not all work, work, work. That affects the love and the romance, and that makes the relationship heavier. So you need to have more pleasure, put in more of the pleasures, do things that you enjoy together, incorporate that in your relationship. Do you need to have a relationship to enjoy Venus things? No, you don't have to, but it's just better. But you don't have to. Okay, how can we open up to romantic relationships? Asking for a friend. So not me, but I just asked for a friend. How can we open up to romantic relationships? See the beauty in things. See the beauty in things. See the beauty in people. Have enjoyable conversations, pleasant, nice conversations. What else can we do to open up to romance in life? Spend on yourself. So spending on yourself is big with Venus. I've struggled with that for so many, like for all of my life until I started meditating. That's when I was able to break through that block. Spending on yourself is a huge thing for Venus. Is that like a sacrifice we can do for you? So Venus doesn't consider that a sacrifice. I mean, I understand, but that in itself is Venusian. They're saying spending on yourself is Venusian, so that's one thing you can do. What do we do? What do we spend on? Pleasure, luxury, anything that makes you feel valuable. Things that make you feel valuable. Things that make you feel like you're worth it. Okay, are we happy with that? How does Venus bring in the money? How do you bring in the money? You have to enjoy by enjoying the comforts and the valuable things. Venus gives you more of that. When you appreciate it, Venus gives you more of it. So begin by appreciating the good stuff that you have, relax more, and appreciate the valuable things that you have around you. Spend on yourself if possible. What if we don't have the money to spend on ourselves? And do things for then you can do things that are valuable, like taking care of yourself, taking care of your body and your physical appearance. That is like showing yourself that you're valuable. These things will help. Nice, Venus, cool. Let me know if there are any other questions. So, timestamp, Mars. I have a list because you know how I always forget. Self-care, exactly, self-care with Venus. So Mars, for all the timestampers out there, Mars is ready to go. Mars is on it. Okay, so Mars, what do you give to us? Sense of urgency and initiative. To just do it, not overthink, to just do it. That's what Mars gives us. Okay, what are some difficulties when we lack your energy? Then we overthink. We don't act, we just overthink and we think, should we, shouldn't we? Isn't that good sometimes to not just be rash? So Mars is saying if your Mars is in good health, put it that way, is in good health, then you will instinctively know or take initiative on positive things. If your Mars is sort of not in a good state, then conflict, fighting, provoking people. So that leads me to, so how do we make sure that your energy is expressed in a positive way? How do we remedy any difficulties? You need to move. That is a strong one. You need to move, get moving, get the energy going, physical movement. What else? What else? Actually, Mars is saying consider your actions. Think about what you've done, which is a bit of a shocker, Mars. I didn't know you self-reflect like that. Do you? Yes, Mars does self-reflect. Mars does urge us to self-reflect on our actions. Is that just when you're retrograde? Yeah, because sometimes we use Mars's energy in bad ways. Oh, so Mars doesn't condone that, apparently. Mars doesn't condone us using his energy in a bad way. So sometimes we need to think about what we've done. So how can we fix what we've done? To do it differently and to act with integrity is kind of what I'm seeing. So what do you think we should be doing? So Mars is saying, I only want you to act. Okay. So Mars is not saying, I'm not making you fight. I just want you to act. Okay. So sometimes that instinctive urge to act, so we handle that differently. Okay, I see. So what do you want us to do? To act and be sort of self-directed. Mars is saying you misuse my power when you argue and when you fight. You misuse my power. Okay, so how would you like us to use your power? To just get off your butts and act. Okay, in general, is that in general? Yeah, to take action when you need to take action and not delay, not overthink it, and just so how can we better our Mars energy? How can we improve that? Mars is saying that's not my area in order to like, so Mars is explaining how if you have difficulties, Mars related difficulties, so if you're a very sort of angry person and stuff like that, Mars is saying the root of that isn't really in Mars itself. The root of that are usually other factors. Okay, what other factors? So Mars is saying sometimes emotions can be misdirected to anger, but it's other emotions. So people get confused. Sometimes you have an emotion about something and you also have this instinct to act. And so they merge this and so they act from that negative emotion. So Mars is saying that is separate. I want you to act, but not without thinking about so sometimes there is some thinking needed to do with like the roots of your anger. Okay. Okay. So what can we do to improve Mars related things? Get your energy up. So movement, physical movement, what else? Competing. What else can we do? Challenge. So sometimes we need to be challenged. So those are good Mars remedies. Being challenged, physical movement, and like competition or something like that. Being challenged. Those are good Mars remedies. Yeah, in a general sense. What does Mars do with Pluto for Scorpio? What do you do for Scorpio? I'm not getting an answer on that. Is it that that's more of a Pluto thing? Yeah, so sometimes Mars merges energies with other planets. So in Scorpio, that would be with Pluto, I'm getting. So sometimes Mars merges, but Mars's energy is that of the taking action or taking action on based on something. So for Scorpio, Mars isn't really taking ownership of that. Mars is saying you need to separate the planets from the signs. They're not the same. Okay, all right. They're not the same. Mars is saying they're not the same. Okay, so Jupiter, timestamp Jupiter. So what do you do? Optimism. Open-mindedly seeing new things. Being enriched by things that are different. Optimism and sharing, wanting to share. What else? What about studies? Higher education. Yes, that's exposure to something different, something new. Being exposed to new things. What about luck? Jupiter is saying that luck is really self-created. So we create our own luck, is what Jupiter is saying. How do we do that? By being open to new experiences and being inspired by them. So Jupiter saying luck is just a willingness to open up to something different. That when you're willing to open up to something different, you get lucky. Okay. What about money? Yes, that is one expression of the joy. What else? So Jupiter says, I'm about the joy, and money is joy. So Jupiter is saying it's kind of indirectly about money because Jupiter is about joy and money brings joy. Money makes people happy when they get it, of course, not the lack of it. What else? Oh, Jupiter has so much more I'm getting. There's so much more I'm getting. I think we... So what is it about you that we don't know? Learning, okay, but we did know that. What else? Inner light, inner light, inner light. It's like the hermit in the tarot, inner light. What else? Trusting the universe, being open to the universe. What else, Jupiter? Knowledge. Knowledge. So Jupiter says, I rule knowledge. What else? What do we not know about you? So Jupiter is showing me some ancient symbols. Yeah, what is it about these? Knowledge that opens up new worlds for you. Knowledge that opens up your world. Wow. I'm getting there's a lot more to Jupiter than we're... yeah, and I know, I can't believe I don't have more romance in my life. I know, I work too much. I don't have a boyfriend. But, you know, I'm content, I guess. Venus gave me some advice. Let's see. You know, Jupiter just entered my 7th house, which is why I'm opening up more to the possibility of a relationship. Jupiter entered my 7th house on Valentine's Day. So It's never a guarantee, but it is definitely indicates a positive attitude to relationships in all form. What is Jupiter for in our charts? Fantastic question, bomb.com. Bomb, you have a lot of good questions. I've been watching you. You got good questions. Okay. What is Jupiter for in our charts? I mean, I know as an astrologer, but let's see what Jupiter has to say. Your wisdom, your knowledge, your path, your doorway to knowledge. What else? Your doorway to growing. In your chart, Jupiter is your doorway, the path to widening your world and your mind, opening up to knowledge. What else? Windfalls, luck. So I've been saying this for a long time personally as an astrologer, but the Jupiter is the key and the doorway. Well, Jupiter is saying that as well, to everything ruled by Jupiter, everything that Jupiter rules, knowledge, wisdom, generosity, sharing, insights, money, joy and growth, freedom as well, freedom. That's where you have your freedom. What else? Wandering or traveling. This is where you are open to all these things. Fantastic remedy. So yeah, Jupiter does rule enlightenment. Yes, because Jupiter rules not just knowledge, but also the inner light, inner insight. So both knowledge and the inner insight, because knowledge isn't really knowledge until you know it from within. Otherwise, it's just hearsay. It's something that you've heard, something that you've been taught, but it's not knowledge unless it comes from inside. That's when you know. That's when you really know. Okay. So how do we remedy Jupiter related? So Jupiter showing me a Jupiter problem would be being restricted, not having room to grow is a Jupiter problem. Being in darkness, is that literally? Yes. Oh, literally and some figuratively in darkness. Wow, because I'm sensitive to light. Oh, this is so deep. Okay, so turn on the lights, be in light, and also the inner light. What do you mean by that? What is the inner light? Inner insight. Go within. I'm getting this as like spiritual knowledge and light, enlightenment that will take you out of the dark from within. What about money and opportunities and luck? Saying, yes, when your world is restricted, then all of these things cannot come to you. So what you can do is more light, turn on the lights, come to realizations. So in spiritual enlightenment, really. So spiritual enlightenment is a remedy. What else? Spiritual enlightenment seems to be the major remedy, the biggest. But other practical things you can do are speak to people from other backgrounds, because they will give you they will give you wisdom from different places. What else can we do? Open up. Don't restrict yourself. Use your freedom. Whatever freedom you do have, even if you are restricted in some way, use the freedom that you do have. Use it. Go out. Literally move outside of your comfort zone. Like use your legs, walk outside of your comfort zone. What else can we do? Open yourself up for channels to come to you. Like open yourself up to seeing new things, hearing new perspectives, exchanging with other people. Let things come into, allow things to be receptive to new perspective, new points of view. Be receptive, take it in. Take it in so your mind is expanded. So Jupiter is saying, give your mind freedom, but also use the freedom that you have. So freedom is very key with Jupiter. Freedom, move, also like physically move, wander out, walk outside of your comfort zone, and yeah. Okay, that was Jupiter. Now Saturn, timestamp Saturn. So we've done Saturn before. Let's hear what Saturn is saying this time. So what do you do for us? I give you purpose. Give you purpose. Okay, what else? Not a purpose, but something to, like, not purpose in the sense of like sole purpose, but purpose in the sense of like things to, like tasks, responsibilities. What else do you do for us? Wow. Saying, I give you a sense of what's right and wrong. So I give you something to be responsible towards so that you know what's right and wrong. Did I understand you? Yes, I give you something that makes you know the difference between right and wrong. So that in itself gives you structure. So for example, by having a job, which is a Saturnian thing, by having a job, you know that the right thing to do is to go to work and come home after work. And so you know, otherwise you have, if there's nothing you need to be doing or should be doing, and if everything is fine, if whatever you're doing is all right, then there is no right and wrong or good or bad. So Saturn gives you that. Something that gives you a sense of what is right and wrong. What's the purpose of that? So that we know and so we can choose. What if we choose what's wrong? We will suffer. We will suffer if we don't take care of our responsibilities. What else do you do for us? Accomplishment. Saturn gives us we accomplish things thanks to Saturn. So this responsibility that you get from Saturn makes you achieve things. It makes you achieve things. So you see practical results of the work that you put in. What about power and control? Do you give that? I do. So Saturn is saying I do. But those that get power and control, they give a lot to me. So Saturn is saying, because you know how we looked into this and the deep state and their Saturnian god or whatever that was. So Saturn is saying some people, if they give me a lot, They give me a lot in the form of sacrifices and discipline. Then I give them back. He says, it's not that I favor those people. It's just fair. It's just fair. They give to me, I give to them. Okay. So if we want to accomplish things, what do we need to do? He's saying you can also make sacrifices for me. But what about if we are struggling with self-discipline or other Saturn-related problems? What if we struggle with self-discipline, or we don't have a job, or things like that? What about that? What is the remedy? He's saying you need something that makes you feel you're doing something worthwhile. It needs to have a tangible result. It needs to lead to a tangible outcome, an accomplishment. You need that. So if we don't have that, what can we do? Saying you need to take initiative for that. I can't just give it to you. You have to make that happen. Okay, can that be, I mean, if you don't have a job, could that be something else other than a job? Yes, it needs to have something that gives tangible fruits, tangible results. A responsibility that gives tangible results. What can we do to remedy self-discipline, for example? He's saying self-discipline is a great feeling. Saying you need to know that it's beneficial for you. What else? If you don't get the enjoyment of that, then you will suffer because of it. So he's saying there's always a price to pay when you're not doing the work. And if you force yourself, when you lack self-discipline, you will get the rewards of that. It will make you feel better. You will feel better. Okay, so sometimes we have to create it on our own. We have to take the initiative. Did I understand you correctly? Yes. Although Saturn isn't saying that in a soft way like I am, but Saturn is saying you get immense satisfaction from having not just a responsibility, but something to hold you accountable, something to push you, something to build on. How do you affect relationships and marriages? So Saturn is saying, I make them last. I make them last. How do you make them last? If they take me seriously, if they take each other seriously, if they take the relationship seriously, I make them last. So what do people need to do in order to make their relationships last? How do you help them with that? He's saying you have to take the initiative to be serious about it. So if you want a relationship to last, you need to incorporate Saturnian values, self-discipline, like work, like tangible results. You need to work towards tangible results, be responsible, work at it, and it will last. So you need to be serious about it, with what Saturn is saying. So relationship don't last if you don't give the blessing. Saying, yeah, if you don't follow my, I don't want to say guidance, but if you don't follow my blessings, then it can't last. If you just want it to be easy and convenient, then it won't last. So the difficulties make it last. Is that what you're saying? Not that the difficulties make it last, but the working on the difficulties make it last. Yeah. Having like a sober attitude to the difficulties, that makes it last. Oh, we're 55 minutes. We're almost, okay. Let's see. Yeah. Self-discipline, is that the ultimate form of self-respect? Yes. Saturn is confirming that. Well, it's not the only form, no, but it's Saturn saying if you value something, you have to work for it. Otherwise, you can't give it their blessings. So if you work at something, it will give you blessings. If you don't work at it, it won't. Yeah, so yeah, I do close my eyes when I'm reading because it's not that I don't get the messages if I don't close my eyes, but it's kind of like listening to somebody's voice in a crowd full of like voices. So it helps me focus in on what I'm hearing or what I'm seeing. So it makes me, in order to be correct in what I translate to you guys, it helps when I close my eyes. I don't have to, but I prefer to because I do want to be correct in what I'm saying. It's already difficult enough to translate. A lot of the things don't get through in words because it's a completely different thing to know something in your heart and to have that knowledge like put in there so you can experience it, and a totally different thing explaining what you're experiencing. So yeah. Okay, great. So timestamp Uranus. Okay, I want to try and wrap this up because I don't want it to go on for way too long. Let's see. So Uranus. Okay, Uranus, what do you do for us? Oh, this is hard to explain. I make you take a different route. Like, can you explain that better? Take a different path. So Uranus helps us take a different path than what we are expected to, or okay, what benefits do you give us? Okay, genius ideas. What else? Certainty in knowledge. Okay, so downloads, that's you, isn't it? Yes. So Uranus can give us downloads, like full concepts, full ideas, just downloaded onto our consciousness, like a full understanding of something or a full knowledge of the ins and outs of something. The lighting is really bad. I wish I was filtered or something. So Uranus helps us like carve out a different path. This is so hard to put into words. What else? Clarity. So clarity. Uranus gives us clarity. Like I'm seeing, it's kind of like a laser sharp clarity on an idea. Without the distractions. So it's really about like focusing in on that one thing clearly, a strong knowing of something. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time like digging because we know what Uranus stands for. And if I have to dig for Uranus's own interpretations, it's really hard to put into words. So I'll just get to the remedy for that. So Uranus, how do we remedy difficulties related to you? So difficulties with Uranus are associated with not being able to go against the norms or go against the path that people are on. Sometimes my influence can make people do that just for the sake of it. So sometimes they don't have the clarity, they just know to get out of a pre-built path. So sometimes it's just a kind of like a lashing out. And it gives you a sense of like Uranus's energy is so compelling that it needs expression. So sometimes even without the insight, it can make you take a different path because its energy is so compelling. It's so crystal clear and laser focused. So what are the difficulties associated with you? Not knowing your own path is a difficulty associated with Uranus, not knowing your own path. So what do people need to do? Find the ideas that are true to them. Is that belief systems? And no, ideas. Not entire belief systems, but ideas. What else? What else can we do? You can express my energy by just dressing different. What else can we do? Saying something that is provocative, not in the sense that you're trying to provoke people, but in the sense that it's so out of the standard. So that could be one way of expressing. What else? So how do we please you? Be a little wild. Go outside of the norms. Do we please you when we do that? Be a rogue. Is that the word? Rogue? Be someone who carves out their own path. Uranus loves that. So I'm having a Uranus transit to my sun. So what's good for us Tauruses? What do we need to keep in mind? So now you get to really be free. Now you get to really be free and go crazy. Okay, so how do we handle that in the best way? You will get downloads and you need to act on them. And you have the freedom now to not care what people think. That's your free. Uranus gives you the freedom to not care what people think. And even enjoy when they don't like it. Which can give me some problems on social media because I really stopped caring what people think. I wouldn't have done this channeling, if I still cared what people think. So Uranus gives us that freedom that we can do things out of the ordinary and not care what people think and carve new paths. So what do Tauruses need to do with this energy now? Be true to themselves and not care. Not care what people think. Just do your thing. Don't care. Okay. What if it causes us some problems? Because I'm kind of aware that it might. What if it causes us some problems? Don't try to restrict that energy. Just let it flow. Be true to yourself. Don't need to provoke people. Just be true to yourself and just be true. Yeah, just be true to you, not in a way that is intentionally provocative, but just be true to yourself and follow that path. You won't care too much about what people think. And if you're being provocative on purpose, that's not supported by Uranus. Uranus doesn't want to provoke people, just wants you to do what's true for you. Great. I love Uranus. I love Uranus. Yeah, definitely breath of fresh air. Definitely. Oh, yes. It's such a sense of relief and it's such a compelling energy as well. Thank you, Uranus. We appreciate you. You're super cool. You're really radical. I love you. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Neptune. Neptune is who is supporting us in this endeavor with the channeling. So, Neptune, hey, thank you, Neptune, for this opportunity to channel. I appreciate your gifts. I'm loving your gifts. What do you do for us? Neptune is saying intoxication, music, sadness and crying, love. So this is kind of how I'm getting the energy, like this, that, flowing, like flowing. What else, Neptune? Beauty. What else? Sensitivity, but flowing sensitivity like an ocean. Not sensitivity like an eggshell, but sensitivity like an ocean. You can't hurt an ocean, but it's so sensitive, but you can't hurt it. Okay, so what do you offer us? The beauty and the feeling of wonder. What about intuition? Yes, that's me. Okay, so how can we better our intuition? So Neptune is saying, well, you have to listen to me. We have to listen to Neptune for our intuition. So Neptune is showing most people don't. We don't listen. So Neptune is talking and we're not listening. So Neptune is saying, you have to listen in a different way in order to hear me. How do we need to listen? Feelings. Start from your feelings. I'll give you inner feelings. I lead you by feelings. So how can people learn to channel, for example, or hear their intuition? They need to first allow themselves to flow. I know I'm being super weird, but this is what Neptune wants to express this. So allow yourself to flow. Allow yourself to flow and go with the feeling. So Neptune, that's where Neptune is, and you can feel it. So Neptune gives you a feeling. You can feel it and you have to flow with it. Flow. So what do people do instead? They don't listen. They just shut it down. Like they don't flow with the feeling. They just. What about alcohol? What's your role in alcohol? So Neptune is saying, yeah, I give them that pleasure. A lot of people can only experience me that way. So it is the same. So for the people that don't listen to Neptune from within, alcohol is kind of not their only, but one of the few ways that they can access that flowing feeling, that flowing. So how do we remedy? Because you know how you can make it more difficult in the worldly sense, because you're all flowing in spirit, but then makes it difficult for like tangible things, So how do we? So Neptune is saying like that's not my area. Like the practical stuff, that's not my area. Don't blame me for that. I can't give you that. So that's your responsibility. Okay. So how can we remedy difficulties? Okay, so to Neptune, the difficulties that need to be remedied in terms of Neptune is when we are confused in terms of the intuition that we have. So this could involve if you're messing with like drugs and alcohol and you are confusing the effects of that for your intuition. So there is a difference. Okay, so Neptune saying there's a difference. When you confuse that, that's when you're going to have problems. So what can we do then? You need to listen. Listen to your inner feelings, flow with what you're feeling, flow with that. Allow yourself to flow with that. What about intoxication or addictions in general? So, oh, Neptune is saying that is for people who suppress the feeling and don't express it. And so they need an intoxication to help them feel the flowing because they need me. They need my effects. They don't allow it to come through. So it becomes a substitute. Okay, I see. Okay, so what they can do then is to flow. This, I'm getting a visual of like creative people, like musicians and stuff that feel like they need to be intoxicated to write good material. So they need to be more in a flowing state and allow their emotions to just go with what they're feeling rather than shut down from within and use intoxicating substances. Yeah, intuition generally. Neptune is intuition, but it can be expressed in different ways. So for some people, it's thoughts or a feeling, but it's Neptune does communicate with us, is what I'm getting. So last one is Pluto, and then we're wrapping this up. Okay, so Pluto, what do you want to say? Hey, hi again. So Pluto's like acknowledging that we've spoken before. He's like, hi again. Yeah. So what do you do for us? I protect what's sacred, but I also restrict access to those things. Okay, so it's you. So the subconscious stuff, when we can't access them, are you like restricting that? Yes, sometimes I prevent you from looking into your own psyche. Why do you do that? It's painful. I just want you to like go on with your life and not have to face things. Yeah, but that gives us problems, Pluto. Do you know that? Yeah, I don't feel ready. So sometimes Pluto isn't ready to help us access subconscious pains and things. So what are the positive things that you do for people? Inner power, inner power, inner power. What else? By containing yourself, by disciplining yourself or like containing yourself, you contain your power. What else can you do for us? Help. I help you smell what's going on under the surface. I help you smell it. You might not see what's going on under the surface. Things might be hidden, but you can smell it. You can smell that something rotten has been hidden. So I help you smell it. And I'm pretty sure that's a figurative or like symbolic way, not necessarily smell it, could be, I guess. So you get a sense of what's going on the surface that you cannot see, because everything leaves a smell trace. Okay, so how can we remedy problems that are related to your energy? How do we remedy them? You must be completely willing to look at yourself honestly. You must be completely willing. If you're not completely willing, I will not show you. If you're not willing to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, I will not show it to you. Yeah, some things are very difficult to see, Pluto. So Pluto's saying you better be ready and prepared for the truth if you really want to see what's going on underneath. Okay, any Pluto related questions? Yeah, the darkness, but also like traumas and things. So Pluto, how do we deal with traumas? What if we have traumas that are unhealed? That's a huge problem, isn't it? Pluto saying, yes, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain there. How do we deal with that pain? You have to build yourself up to be willing to see it, to be willing to face it, and be willing to face the emotions, be willing to face the pain. What else? How can we heal our traumas? It says you have to first access them by being willing to see the truth. You have to be open to the truth. A lot of the Pluto related issues are because we're not willing to see the truth. We're not willing to see the full truth of things. So if we are willing to see the full truth of things, what happens then? Then you can see the authentic, then you will be authentic and you will get the authentic truth. And you can deal with the full reality and not just the pretty picture with the ugly smell. Then you will get the full picture. So how can we remedy difficulties? Be willing to face yourself. Be willing to face yourself. Why don't we do that? Why don't we do that, Pluto? It's very sensitive. It's very sensitive. What else? Why don't we do that? It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. The things I hide, they hurt you. I hide the hurtful things to protect you. If you can handle it, I will show it to you. Thank you, Pluto. We appreciate you. Thank you for making our lives bearable when we've gone through difficult things. Pluto says, I will always protect you. I will always protect you. I always protect you. What else do you do for us? I protect that which is yours. Even like resources, I protect them. Any Pluto related questions? Sex. Pluto, what can you tell us about sex? Pluto saying, I have feelings. Yeah, what do you mean? Pluto saying, don't just have sex and not consider my feelings. Don't just like respect my feelings, honor my feelings. So Pluto's saying you have to be authentic, kind of like you have to, when you have sex, to not do it like in just this like in a detached kind of way, but rather to consider also your feelings. How do you feel? Do you feel safe? Do you feel can you be your full true self? Can you be your full true self? Can you be sensitive? Can you be, because Pluto's showing me what Pluto's protecting is the most warm, the most, oh, I don't know how to say this, like the most warm, the most wonderful intimacy is what Pluto protects. So Pluto doesn't like it when we have sex in a detached way, but rather needs to be authentic, intimate, connect emotionally, be yourself. Don't be ashamed. And your partner, you have to demand that your partner can share that in that way, or to allow you to be that authentic. So you need to demand that your partner can be authentic. Otherwise, it will be hurtful emotionally. So what can we do for our partners? Be yourself so that they can also be themselves. Don't be disingenuous or fake. Be yourself so that they too can be themselves. Be genuine, be authentic. Be warm, connect, be intimate, emotionally to be intimate. Yeah, wow. Yeah, can you be the most vulnerable during sex? Yeah, Pluto is kind of saying that that's how it should be. Pluto says we shouldn't really be having sex if we're not being vulnerable and if our partner isn't allowing us to be vulnerable. That's the only sex that Pluto is comfortable with. Mars is different. Mars is a little bit more happy to just go for it. Which planet has the meaning over betrayal? Is that you, Pluto? Indirectly, yes. I'm also getting Moon. Moon. Who is ruling betrayal? Pluto or Moon, depending on the circumstance of the situation. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Pluto. We appreciate you. Thank you for protecting us and protecting what's sacred in us, protecting our warmth. And thank you for the warmth that you give us through intimacy and through connection with others. We love you. Thank you, Pluto. Okay, we have done all of them. Good job, everybody. I went way over time. I wasn't expecting it to be this long, but thank you for your patience. And I hope this is of huge value. And I also want to say thank you to all the planets that participated. Thank you for enlightening us. Thank you for showing us the way. I also want to say as a disclaimer, it was very general. We didn't get into the details. We didn't get into the nitty gritty. I'm sure there were a lot of parts that didn't even come up that are still relevant for the planet. So that's good to keep in mind. It wasn't like an extensive list of the things that they do, but I just wanted to let them talk freely and see what comes up. So Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all the planets. And let us honor them and thank them for what they offer us, and ask them to help guide us on the right path and with wisdom and joy. Asteroids. I would love to do asteroids, but it's going to be like a full week probably of a live. So maybe not today. We'll consider it for next time. Maybe do a couple of asteroids, some of the most important ones. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I so appreciate you guys. This has meant so much for me. I have learned so much. You guys give me so much energy, and thank you to Lada. Bless her. This is fantastic that we're able to do this, that she gives me the freedom to do this, and the trust in me. I really value her faith in me. Thank you, Lada, so much. So yeah, like and subscribe. Bye, everybody.